Right, guys. Just doing a little video. Over the last couple of days or last week, I've done some videos on the apps I've been building, and on my last one, I think I said something about, is that building worth it? Well, I'm doing an update on that. No, it's not worth it because it's so damn expensive, and I mean fucking expensive. Now, I had 20 apps up on Apple. I've had to take half of them off because next month I'm going to be charged £20 per app, which will be over £400 to keep on the Apple Store. Now, to actually have your apps on the Apple Store, you got to have an Apple account, which is $99, right? But when I started building apps, I thought, building apps would only be a small fee, but it's not, because I'm going to show you something in a moment. And I do feel a bit sick right now because I've just been charged nearly $200 on something else. Now, when you're building through Vibe, you buy your credits to build your app. But what they don't tell you is every time you deploy the app, you get charged $20 in hope that you can actually put it through on the Apple Store. Now, some of our apps I've had to deploy about 20, 30 times. Now, when I spoke to the support through Vibe, they said, "Oh no, you only get charged one. You can actually put your app and deploy your app 10, 15 times. You still only get charged one time." But having 25 apps originally on Apple Store, I've had to take practically over half of them down because my bill was pretty expensive. I thought when you build an app and you buy your credits, you wouldn't be charged anymore, but you do. You get charged for deployment fees. And not only that, I just found out that, well, I know that when you're posting it through to Apple Connect, and then you fill out all the details about the app, then you deploy it to the Apple Store. Now, with the situation being, you buy credits through Vibe to build your app. Once you're happy enough with the app, you deploy it through to, it goes through Expo, then it goes on to Apple Connect, and then from Apple Connect, you send it through to the Apple Store. Now, if Apple Store accepts it, it'll go onto your Apple Store and it'll be there for people to buy. Now, I spent a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money, building these apps. Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of building 25 apps. How much I'd like to say, I've got no idea. I spent a shitload of money building these apps. But I didn't realise that I would get hit through the cost of deploying my apps through to Apple Connect, then onto Apple Store. But when you're actually deploying it to Apple Connect, it goes through Expo, and there's a fee with Expo as well. Now, I just had a quick look on my email. Oh, not my email. Oh, yeah, I looked at my email, and it actually said that a payment of $176 was taken out through Expo. Now, I did have a payment taken out the other day, actually, for $40 on Expo, thinking, oh, that ain't bad, But yeah, I've just been hit with another $170 plus for Expo. No, hang on, that's $19 for next month. Hold on. StreamYard. It'll be on my email, I think. Share screen. Let's go to email. So as you can see, receipt for 650 Industries in Corporate Expo, $176. And that was for like the ES Build plan credit, which was $45. And then there's the ESA Build iOS 11 medium builds, ES Workflows 84 jobs, 0 minutes. Then the Expo application service starter, $19. They deducted the 45, but the total was $176, which they've taken out of my bank account, which I can't really do anything about, because I don't even know what it's for. Actually, I know that you do pay a little bit of money towards like Expo for selling it through Expo to get it on the Apple Connect, but the thing is, you're being charged 3 times by making an application, or 4 times actually. One, when you sign up for Apple, you pay $99 for the Apple account. When you're building your apps, you get charged for purchasing credits on FICO. What is it called? Five code AI system. So you can do $20, $50, $100, $200, and I've actually been on the max a few times actually, but then I came off the max and went on to auto load, which I thought would probably be a bit better, but I didn't realise I was being charged an extortion amount of money for it to be transferred from not just Expo, but through to have it uploaded and installed onto Apple Store. Now, because when I spoke to Vico about the amount of money that I spent out, why should I be paying all this on for the deployment? Well, the deployment is there because it's like a back end. They keep it on Apple Connect for you, but they have to store it somewhere, being on their servers. So they charge you $20 per app per month, right? Now, if you're not doing any more app building, which I'm not going to fucking do, I won't be using Expo as much, so I won't really be charged using Expo. But nearly $200 on Expo is like a fucking ridiculous amount of money, to be honest with you. The other one I want to show you, if I can find it, FICO billing. Now, these are the ones I've paid for at the moment. All these down here, paid. But there's one here which is still open for deployment of all my apps being sent over to be put onto the Apple Store. And I still got to pay them $357. And not only that, once that's been paid, all my apps which I've got left on Apple Connect. Now I'll show you how many I've got left on there. I took a load of them down. On Apple Connect or the Apple Store. Now I don't know if you remember, I had 20 on there, 25 on there the other day. This is what I've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There should be one more, but for some reason it just ain't going through. It's been accepted by Apple, but it's just not being uploaded to the Apple Store. Now, the thing is, every month I'm going to be charged $20 for each one of these. Each one of these is going to cost me $20 to keep up on the Apple Store via Fivecobe. Because as I say, Fivecobe keeps your apps live through their back-end website. They're keeping it all live for you on their website somewhere. But every one that you keep live, you're being charged $20 for. So next month, that's going to be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, $220 odd for that. And I've not even made $100. I spent out so much fucking money. It's unbelievable. I'm not making no money at all. Now, if I show you, I'll go to Fivecobe. Is it Fivecobe I need to go to again? See, these are all the apps I've made. I've had to take a lot of them down from Apple because I don't want to be ending up spending $20 per app if I'm not making no money. Now, if I go to the Apple Store, well, not Apple Store, it's Apple Connect, and then sign in. And then do trends. Now I'll come out of that. And go to here. That's how much I've made. Now, yesterday it was 109. But I think one of them got refunded, which I think was a copy of the Afterlife box. And as you see, like, you know, my sales have gone right down to zero at the moment. I'm not selling nothing. You know, they will be up there for a bit longer, but if I'm not making no money, it ain't worth me having my stuff on there. You know, it's going to be a big loss. Because, you know, like $179 is a lot of money for one. The other one, $379, which still needs to be paid off. It's also a big chunk of money. Yeah, $357. That still needs to be paid for deployments. And I say deployments is where you actually deploy it through from Fivecobe, then through Expo, then from Expo it goes on to Apple Connect, and from Apple Connect it goes to the Apple Store. So really you're being charged twice to have your app on the Apple Store. One through Fivecobe for the deployments, and then one through the Expo. And I can't afford to keep doing this, man. You know, I've got ideas for other apps, but I just can't afford to, like, you know, build. You know, I've got like $60 credit on Fivecobe, so I can actually make another, maybe one or two applications. But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to, like, list it on the Apple Store because it's going to charge me to go through the deployment and also through Expo. Now, on Expo, it says including monthly active users, whatever there's, I don't know, including uploaded builds, 0 out of 25, build credit, $0 out of 45. But I just don't understand why I'm being charged all this for Expo. Because it says like for terms that want more monthly ESA credits, that's the actual purchase of the Expo is not even an AI that actually builds your app. It's like a middleman. So you develop your app, then it kind of like is a bit of the coding process, I suppose, in one way. So it's like coding in like, several different coding features, like I think one's Python. I don't know what ones they are. Like on Expo itself, the dashboard, it shows what I've got on now. All these have gone through Expo. But I didn't realise I was going to be charged so much money for these to go through Expo, as well as them going through Fiveco. So I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do building of apps to get onto Apple Store, you're going to need a shitload of money, I'll tell you. And I have spent so much fucking money on these, I'm not going to make anything back. Although, like, the Apple account is there for a year, Apple still takes their chunk out of it as well. So if you've got like an app for like $15, which I don't have, I think with dearest one's like $12.99, Apple's going to take their percentage out of that as well. That could be anything between $3 to $5. So if you've got one up there for like $3.99, you won't get $3.99. You probably get $2.50 or something out of that shit. So you're not really making anything out of it. I really need to find some way of actually making apps, and then somehow to host them as like a normal Apple or Android direct download. And then, that way I might be able to do it a little bit more cheaper that way, I suppose. No, it's just something worth it, to be honest with you. Just ain't worth it. I spent too much money out and I've not made a fucking dime back yet. Although it says like 97, that could be a payment that I'm only going to get like a percentage out of. Out of $97, I might only get like $70 out of that, and that could take weeks or months for me to even get anything back out of it. So originally I wanted to make apps for the Android, but even with the Android, if I'd done it through, which I have done through, which is another AI development place, is Rook. But with Rook, I've emailed them to find out if I'm going to get charged extra for like deployments or stuff like that. But I'm not even getting no replies to the emails I've been sending. So I am trying to find other ways of actually developing apps where I can either save it as an API, I think it is for the Apple, and another way of that getting it, and then being able to download it as an APK, because then that way I can, put it on my website as an APK and have like a certain amount of copies where people can just go and pay a fee for it and download it straight away, kind of thing. And hopefully that way I'm not going to get more charges, kind of thing. But it's kind of like frustrating and like annoying. And I do want to fucking try, I'll tell you, because like suddenly finding out another $179 it's just been taken out of my bank account. And I need to pay the other $357 because otherwise that's going to build up for next month through 5 codes and their deployments. Because I say, like, every time you make an app and you deploy it from 5 code, it's going through Expo. Expo's charging you. 5 code's charging you to have it deployed to Apple Connect, then uploaded to the Apple Store. But the apps that you're building through 5 code is being kept on our servers as a live application. If I want to download the apps, I can download all my apps, no problem. But then I need to go onto a higher subscription to download my apps. But I don't know if I can download the apps and just directly install them on my mobile phone. If I can find a way of actually finding out if there is a way I can download the code and make it into an API or APK file without having to go through 5 codes deployment and Expo, then I will do, because then that way I can just download them, put them on a website and send them through that way and just get like PayPal payments, and then just take them all off of the Apple Store. I won't be able to get a refund from Apple, but at least I won't be getting charged through the deployment through 5 code. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I remember, is contact 5 code and ask them why I'm being charged all this fee from Expo, because they should tell you when you sign up. This is how I see it, right? Is that when you sign up to an AI site to build apps, they should explain that you're going to be charged for buying the credits to build the app. Then you're going to be charged for the deployment. Then you're going to be charged for the Expo. And then, like, as we all know, you are going to be charged for it being on the Apple Store. Now, I would like to try to get some of my apps converted to APK and have them up on the Google Play site, but I can't even do that at the moment because I haven't got all the information to give to Google Play to open an account on Google Play. Like, I've uploaded a passport. I gave all detailed numbers, like my contact number and my home address and stuff like that, but it keeps saying that it's not picking up my address details correctly. And it's also not taking my banking details for some reason. So I just don't know what's going on with Apple, not with Apple, with Google Play. I have contacted Google Play, but they're not really being helpful at the moment. They just keep saying, you need to like give us more information. and like I've given them all the information I've got at the moment. The only thing I can give them is when I get it sorted out, because I have got like a driving license form, which I was going to return today, but I didn't. So that's going to go at the post office. Well, not today, like yesterday I was going to go to the post office to post it, but I was too tired and lazy to do it. So today I'm going to go up there and post it. And then I should get a provisional driving license, which I can use as a ID card, but I've got to send it off, record to delivery, so they get it earlier, so I can get me driving license earlier, hopefully. All the driving license has all been filled in. Just that they sent me a form because I'm diabetic and they want all this fucking information about my diabetics. Like if I have to go to the hospital, what kind of medication I take and all that shit. So I've filled that out as best as I can. And that's going to go out the post office today, record the delivery, so it gets there for at least by Friday. But it don't mean they'll actually own it up till probably next week. Then it may take another couple of weeks for it to come through. That's if they don't send me more requested information. So yeah, I'm trying to get my driving license, my provisional driving license, sorted out, so I can use that as ID as well. I did have like an account for Citizens Card, but they've been arseholes and not accepting my photos for some reason. And they even turned around and said my brand new passport doesn't look correct. It looks fraudulent. Would you believe? No, it doesn't look like a real passport when it's a brand new fucking passport. So that's why I needed my driving license, so I can actually post that up to Citizen Card as well. Because I've already paid that and they won't refund me whatsoever. I've asked for a refund because they just pissed me around too much. And Citizen Card said, well, no, it's not our fault, we'll keep your account open, just get it done as soon as you can, kind of thing. And I'm not going to keep going to the post office and taking photos all the time, because each set of photos it's like £12 more costs. And I say, well, just take a normal photo with your mobile phone, but they want a white fucking background, and all my doors are like a creamy colour. And I uploaded a few pictures, and I said, oh, we can't accept these because they look like they've been AI edited, kind of thing. So Citizen's Card's been an arse. But yeah, if I can find a way of actually getting my apps uploaded to Google Play sometime soon, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be charged a fortune by uploading them to Google Play. Because with Rook, so I've contacted Rook to find out if I'm being charged for deployments, but I'm not getting no reply from them, and that's through support. And it's just fucking annoying. So the last email I sent them, I said, is there any development charges based on when I deploy an app to the Apple Store? If so, how much do I get charged? Also, is it a one-off payment per app, or does each app get charged each month to be kept live on the Apple? And I said to them, as I know, FICO charges $20 per app per month. But I just ain't getting no fucking replies from them. Last time I had a reply from them was the 1st of the 3rd, where I had an issue with a project, and it was not being shown on my phone. Yeah, so every email I send to them, I don't get a reply from. So I'm going to go. It's gone 3 o'clock in the morning. But as I say, if you are going to develop anything, any apps that you're going to want to put onto the Apple Store, I'd advise you not to use the sites I'm using, being Vibe, because they're charging you the cost of the credits. They're costing you $20 per deployment per app each month, and they would charge you that every month when it's on the Apple Store. Because as I say, it's being kept on their servers, kind of thing. It's not being kept on the Apple server; it's being kept on the Firecode servers. So you're being charged for that. Plus, you're paying charges through Expo as well. Now, I knew I was going to get charged X amount through Expo, but I didn't think like nearly $200 was going to be, where I was going to be charged that amount, kind of thing. Because I had the account set up as like $40, I think it was. Then I dropped it down to $20 because I wasn't uploading anything through Expo. It was automatically being done through Vibe. But because it's going through Vibe and then being uploaded to Expo, and Expo is transferring it over to the Apple Connect, that's where they're hitting you through Expo. So, no, I know I'm going to have to pay this over $350 later on, maybe next week or two. But I'm not going to do any more apps. The ones I've taken down will, just be left there. And hopefully, if I do start making a little bit of money back, then I might upload some of the ones that have been taken down. But for now, I can use them, but no one else can use them unless I actually share them through a QR code. So, yeah. Unless you've got a shitload of money, it ain't worth you doing it, guys, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'm off, and I'll catch you all later. Have a good one.